Okay, so let's talk a little bit about well, my most notable attempt at suicide. Um, I was in high school. I'd say I was about 16, 15, 16. I don't feel like I was working, so yeah, I feel like I was about 15 or 16. I started working about 15 and a half, so that made it 15. I was in high school. I felt very alone. I felt like... Okay, so actually, let's backtrack. I was in high school. I was in like grade 9. Graduated high school in 93. That means that would have been 89. I was born in 73. 83 would have been 10. 17 would have been 20. So 16. So 16. So I would have been about 16. Okay, math says I was about 16. So yeah, I guess I was working. And I was just... High school was a very lonely time for me. I was just so alone. There was... I had a few friends, but I just felt very alone and very abandoned. Very isolated. Not abandoned, very isolated. I was gay and I wasn't able to talk about that with anyone. And I was picked on, and it just felt so dark. It felt so like it was never going to end. I didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And as I've talked about before, I had a regime of pharmaceuticals I would take, Neocitrin, the cough suppressant, I can't think of what it's called, NyQuil, and Dristan. And those are the three things that I would take every single night. And, I often wonder, like, as a parent, my mom never asked me, hey, why are you always having this on your desk? So what my mom would do is, she was a waitress, and she would put tip money into her jar. And so the rule was that whatever was in the tip jar, I could use for whatever I needed to use it for. Food, snacks, whatever, right? She would try to provide the other normal, more nutritious food. She would provide the clothing. And then when I started to work again, the agreement was that she would provide the clothing, she would provide the everything else. But I was to... when I worked, I was to do the extras on my own because I was working, right? So, but she would provide the basics. So, yeah, but like, I would always use this money to buy these medications, and like, no one ever said anything, right? I got this at the convenience store, and the convenience store clerk was someone who lived in our building, but like, she never said anything. Mom never said anything, and I put these on my damn dresser right in front of everyone. It wasn't like I was hiding this shit. It was right there. Hey, I've got these three things. And it was never like, hey, you're not that sick. Like, you're not... Or are you that sick? And we need to figure out why. Like, what the heck is happening? So that never happened. So yeah, I just felt very alone, very isolated. I felt like no one cared. It was one evening where, funny enough, my mom was home. She was in the front room watching some TV show. I was in my bedroom, as I often was as a teenager, just kind of doing my own thing. We lived on the 7th floor. I was playing my Whitney Houston music. Greatest Love of All was played. And I had my hand here and I had my leg here, and you can't see it, but like I had my leg, and I had those on the inside of the screen or window, and I was on the other side of the window, and I had my other leg on the outside of the window, and I had my head on the outside of the window, and I was just sitting there, and I was thinking, okay, I'm done. I can't. I can't flip. I can't. I'm done. I can't do this. And that's what I thought at the time. And I was like, this is never going to end. This pain is never going to end. And I remember someone being conscious of the guy kind of walking up. So I lived in a building, and so in the building, the in the building, the person or the the roadway of the building would like go up, and then there'd be an awning, and then you go into the front hallway. And so I remember sitting like on the windowsill, being ready to jump or to let go, and someone moving up and kind of walking along and being like, oh, right, and kind of looking like that. And I kind of remember being conscious of him there, but me just looking up in the sky and thinking like, I'm done. I can't handle this pain anymore. And I remember hearing a buzz. I remember hearing my mom screaming, Ryan, what are you doing? And I said, put my head back inside the window. I said, nothing, Mom. I'm just sitting in the window because it's warm and I'm hot. And she said, well, get inside now. And I got inside. And that's the power she had. That's the power Mom had over me. When Mom said do something, you do something, right? And that's part of the generation that I grew up in. When your parents said do something, and those of us who are born in that generation will know, when your parents said do something, you damn well do it, right? Like, there isn't a question. You do that shit. You don't not listen to what your parents tell you. So Mom said, get your ass in now. So I got in. I put the screen back in the windowsill. And as I've said in other videos, my mom wasn't good at like talking about things. We never talked about that. There was no discussion of, hey, so last night when dude said that you were on the windowsill, and you said, like, do we need to talk about that shit? No, there was no discussion. There was no exploration of that. I came in, I sat down, I took a few more pills and a few more chugs and whatever, my pharmaceuticals. I remember very clearly waking up and thinking, fuck, I'm awake again. Oh, here we go with life again. And I remember several times taking medication and thinking like, okay, this will be the end of it. And waking up and they say to me like, fuck, here we are again. We're still alive. And that was my, what I'm gonna say, serious self-harm attempt. It's not as dramatic as others, but I'm very cautious when I say, it gets better, because I don't, quite frankly, I don't think it does get better for everyone, right? I think some people it doesn't get better. Sadly, and I wish it did, but I don't think it always does. And so, just my professionality is like, I don't want to lie to anyone. I don't want to say that it'll get better when it might not. Um, it did get better for me though, right? Um, I learned that after high school, in post-secondary education, people don't give a fuck what you do. like they don't care. As long as it doesn't influence them, they don't fucking care. Um, there might be rumors and there might be shit like that happening, but like, by and large, they don't care. Same thing at work, right? Like, there might be rumors and shit, but like, they don't care. Like, if you just do your job and do the thing that you have to do and are somewhat sociable, vast majority of the time, people just don't care. That's not always true, but generally speaking. So, high school is a whole other realm of social expectations that don't apply to any other space. So, yeah, if you're talking about high school, it's very serious where you are right now, and it's very serious on what you're doing right now, but don't let that define everything. Talk to who you need to talk to. Get out to where you need to get out to. In case anyone is listening to this, which I doubt, but in case anyone is hearing this and is like in that position, talk to someone. Find someone who you think will listen to you and talk to them and talk about your problems and let them help you, because you're worth it. You're worth it. I'm worth it. Everyone's worth it. You're worth it. You're beautiful. The world is more beautiful with you in it. Talk to someone. Get some help. Get someone to help you through the feelings you're feeling. Because you're so much better with you here. And that is what I have to say about that. Yeah, that I mean, there are times when I go through life and I have very similar feelings, especially these days with like the strong support number of the family not being as strong as it was at one point. But I'm never as close to that place as I was at that moment. It scared me a couple years ago when I had some very dark thoughts, but I was able to be very vocal about that online and been like, I'm having very dark thoughts, and I it was heartwarming. A few million people who I don't talk to who said, if you need to talk to me, talk to me. I'm turning up here. So that just goes back to talk to someone. You have people, I'll just about guarantee you have someone in your life who you can talk to them. Excuse me. Whether it's a professional, whether it's a friend, whether whatever, Talk to them. Get some help. You're good. The world needs more like you.